Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a terrific Tuesday. Okay, make sure you tap that like button. Let everyone know we are live. Y'all, this is going to be a good one on today. So you want to make sure you are tapping in because y'all, I think we are getting more and more answers in this situation involving Malcolm Jamal Warner. I was up doing some research last night, y'all, and I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so please make sure you hit the like. Let everyone know we are live this morning. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, or a cash app. Also, my coffee link is posted and pinned at the top of the screen. Okay. Hi, Nina. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for being first in the building. Now, y'all, I also have to give a shout out and thanks to the open book family. I woke up and y'all, we had like exceeded another goal of 6,000 subscribers. And so when I tell y'all, I am so grateful for all of your support. Thank you for watching every video that you've watched and liking and sharing. And shout out to the replay gang also. Like, wow, y'all blow my mind every time. And so I just really appreciate all of your support. It would not be possible without your support. And so thank you so much for every comment. You know, I go back, y'all, and anytime I do a video or a live or something of that sort of short, I do go and look at the comments, okay? Because I want you to see that I see you and that you're engaging in the conversation, and I really appreciate it. Hey, Janet. Lifestyles for Janet is in the building. Thank you for joining, sis. Thank you so much, Nita. I really appreciate that. And I give God the glory, y'all. Before anything, I always want him to be at the center of everything that I do. And so I am truly, truly grateful to God, y'all. Every video that I see views and stuff going up, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You know, so excited. So we're grateful over the little. Y'all, God blesses us with much. And so I give him the glory and the credit for every success that I have. Okay. And I really thank y'all as well. Thank you for every super sticker, super chat, cash app, coffee. It means a lot. Good morning, Mrs. X. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, y'all. So we're going to get into this live. I wanted to do it last night, but y'all, today I was acting like it was my first day of school. Okay. My kids had their first day of school this morning. So I knew I had to get up early and get them ready. And so I did the research part last night, and I said I'll save the live for today. Thank you so much, Janet. I appreciate that, sis. Thank you so much. If y'all can make sure you're tapping the like button, let everyone know we are live. And so I said, let me go ahead and this is my son's first day going to public school. And so, y'all, I was a nervous wreck. I still am, but I'm trying to not keep my mind on it. I'll probably be more relaxed when school is out. Okay. At the same time, I'm trying to enjoy the peace and quiet, you know, so I can like really focus today and get some things done. Hi, Glenn. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I think he was more excited than I was. Okay. My husband talked about me. He said, girl, say those tears for college. Okay. I don't know what you're crying. I don't know what you're crying for today. Okay. So everybody, it's almost like it was Christmas last night, except for my husband. Me and the two kids, baby, we all were hyped up and nervous, couldn't go to sleep, and all of that too soon. So I was up late. But I think I'm awake this morning so we can get into this because y'all, this is multiple steps, okay? Multiple layers. The things that I found out yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was like an epiphany. And it was to the point I went in there. Now, my husband, he'll watch my lives and things like that. But baby, I went in there trying to explain some stuff I had just found out. He looking at me like, oh, really? Oh, okay. See, y'all get it. See, we've been in this thing and been following it. Okay. See, he probably still stuck on Malcolm had an accidental drowning. See, he not there yet. I can talk to my people and hear that we know it's more at play. Okay. I need the deep thinkers this morning. Wherever you are, if you at work, if you are in the car, wherever you are, I need your brains this morning because, baby, it is about to get deep this morning. Okay. Nita said, I follow Sloan. I know everyone don't believe. I sort of don't believe, but she's correct most of the time. Okay. And let me speak on that because that's what we're going to start there. And as we react and listen to some of the things, okay, that she said in her video, what I usually do is, y'all, I don't go, looking for answers in these particular like psychic readings and things like that. No offense to anyone that does, okay? That's your thing, that's your thing. But if I thought about something or have a feeling about something and there's a form of confirmation or something that resonates with me, what I'll do is then research, okay, on my own, some other stuff to see if that is a missing puzzle piece to something I've been thinking. So there were some things that we'll listen to this morning that she stated that, hey, we've already talked about, okay? But it caused me to look a little deeper. And y'all, some of these pieces started connecting. Oh my goodness, it really started connecting. I know that she was, to me, really on point with Twitch's death, some things that she talked about with Twitch. Also, Whitney Houston. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the short with Whitney Houston. Now, what's so ironic, though, even the things that she talked about with Whitney Houston, at the time, if you think about it years ago, we wouldn't have thought about that. Like, yeah, right, Whitney died in a tub. But all of the other stuff that has come out since then confirms some of the stuff that she had talked about even back then, like years ago. And so I'm not, into all of the other stuff she was talking about in her live, like it was some other things she was talking about in her video. I'm not going to show that part. The part I do want to talk about and show, and I will put the full link in my description field of this video, because that's one thing I do, baby. I have gone to college, and let me clarify something, okay? I don't have to steal anything. If anything is out here that is public, it can be reacted to, okay? And I give the common courtesy because I have seen some content creators that will take stuff on as if it's theirs. Okay, I don't do that. I either say, according to such and such, this person, or I saw this here, or I'll put the full link to the video in my description, or here, follow this channel. I do things like that with integrity. Okay, so I don't want anyone questioning my integrity or saying that I have to steal anything. If I'm reacting to something someone has put out, like I'm telling y'all, this first part, we're reacting to Sloan Bella's a snippet of her video. I'm not even showing her full video, okay? Because y'all can go to her channel to watch the full thing. But there are some things that I want us to discuss based off of what we've already been talking about. So I just wanted to clarify that because that was put out the other night saying I was stealing stuff and all of that. No, I don't have to steal. I have my own computer, my own mind. I've gone to college. I know how to cite sources. If people have written books and we had to write papers, guess what? We can use stuff out of those books. But at the end of that paper, you have to put where you got that information from. Okay, so that's not stealing if you do it that way. Now, if you take the whole book and you don't say who, you just taking it as, oh, I wrote this, these are my thoughts and all of that, then you're stealing. Okay, so there is a difference when you cite sources. You can be inspired by something, you can see something and it triggers a thought in you to take it a step further. That is also a growth mindset that takes place as well. If someone says something and it sparks something in you to think about something else, that's a growth mindset. And so that's how I operate. So, no, I don't steal. I do give people credit when they do something or say something or anything like that. So I just had to put that out there and give clarification on a few things regarding that. Okay. Hey, sweetness. Good morning. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. Good morning, Catherine. Welcome. Okay, Catherine already coming in. Hey, okay, Jenna said, right. Yeah, I just had to clarify, y'all. So I don't have any beef with anyone. I just move on. I don't go where I'm not welcome, things of that sort. So it is what it is. Okay. But yeah. All right, so let's get into what we are here for today. So let me pull up the video. And so I'll stop because there are some things, y'all, that I want to talk about. And y'all, if you like me, I have a whole journal. I keep notes, wrote down some stuff. I had to bring out the big boy journal last night. Okay. So let me pull up that video. Hold up. Thank y'all for your patience. I like StreamYard sometimes. It's like different than Restream. Okay, here we go. And this is Sloan Bella for those of you who do not know who she is. She gives readings on different, mainly celebrities. And this is her first. She said first one on Malcolm Jamal Warner. So there may be other follow-up videos as well. Okay. All right, let's get into this.
Energies that are this descriptive in describing. So let me tell you what I got. Initially, when Malcolm passed, I am drawn right into almost a room that is as big as me, okay, square, like a box. And my mind goes to the early 1920s. Do you guys remember the way they used to take photographs? And no, I'm not that old. I just remember seeing it in books where the photographer would stand like with something over his head, looking through a box that was probably as wide as him, and then out the other side, I guess, and the snap a light, and the picture would be produced however they did it back then. I am seeing something very similar. So when Malcolm passed, he immediately went into this, what I'm being shown as is a box, okay? So it is a box, and he is sitting there, and it's not really a big room, and he is putting a nickel in this machine and then doing this, like winding the movie. As I'm watching the movie,
Okay, so I want y'all to take note of winding the movie. Y'all know those old time movie screens and things of that sort. Hi, who is this? Karen. Hey, Karen, welcome. Y'all, it shows y'all's at names, and so I have to look at the pictures to see who it is sometimes. So if I'm hesitating, that's why, because I have to see who is on the picture so I can speak. But I want y'all to remember back in the day, the older film cameras. See, some of this is going to connect some dots. So if y'all are taking notes, there are certain things that spark the thought in my mind as she was saying it, as I look into other things. So she's saying it like she was seeing this as a picture, okay, as one of those older movie video cameras that projected the movie onto the screen. Okay, so keep note of that.
I'm looking to watch this movie. The background is sepia. There's no color. So there's no energy to it. It's kind of that sepia color, that whatever that is. And
And with that, also take note that this is something that probably in the beginning had not been created. Okay, and we'll come back to that.
Seeing a man walk across the beach, and immediately I'm watching him watch this man walk across the beach. Now, I am hearing the words, I don't want to talk. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to talk to you. And then I see the person. I can't really make out who it is, but I believe that it's actually Malcolm watching Malcolm, but in a more moody lit way. That's how it's being shown to me. So there's no vibrance and there's no texture. It's kind of like it's just happening. And as it's happening and he's walking across the beach, his hearing is getting like farther away. So it's almost like I would describe losing one's balance and walking forward into a void. And I equate it weirdly with altitude climbing and falling into a hole while you're climbing up the side of a mountain and you can't hear and everything kind of goes deaf or you go deaf. This is what I'm feeling. Now, that makes me feel, when I'm looking at the energy, like something came on him. I lost my balance. I moved, I fell, and I can't hear. And immediately I feel a hit to the back of my back, like a sucker punch in the kidney area. That's actually what I get. This is
Okay, so it's almost, y'all, when we were wondering, had there been a toxicology report, okay, to see if anything was in his system first, okay, to make him kind of feel a little funny or feel like he was like, you know how like if you possibly been rugged, okay, and it makes you kind of feel like you're swimming in the head and not really focused, and then you're staggering, trying to lose your balance. Oh, you're talking about the names. I don't know, Karen. On sometimes the with the YouTube, it does that. I am not sure of why it does that, but it does do that. I don't know. I was wondering that too because it makes it harder. Thank you so much, Second Sin for you. I appreciate the support and y'all just, having my back on that. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Second Sin for you said, this is crazy. Listen to this. Perhaps something in the system as Sloan is described. Right. Okay. So it's almost like he was caught off guard, staggering. And this is all alleged. Let me just say this live is on the screen. It's for educational entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. So after that, y'all, and I've heard multiple ones have said this, like I know the Chanel show, she has even had a card that came up when I was in her bushes one time, and it was like a crouching, I think like a crouching tiger in the water, and she said something was sneaking up behind him. Now here Sloan is saying that something came or someone came and sucker punched him allegedly in the kidney area and it caught him off guard and he fell forward. Okay. So that also would possibly show up on an autopsy report. See, these are things that can be verified. It's not just something people just need to, oh, it's conspiracy theory. Well, you could verify that. Was it anything in his system? Were there any bruises or any hurt back in the back of his back, any trauma back there? Okay. I don't know. Second Sin for you, possibly. No, I mean, I haven't heard anything, out on the website or anything like that, but possibly. Because hey, I'm hearing different things. And someone else said that allegedly they're going to do something on his birthday, which is August 18th. I've heard that as well, which is, it's a lot of secrecy in this. I don't know. It is so confusing on that part, like for real. Okay. And so that part I took note of as him. There's the man out there that she described first, okay, that he didn't want to talk to. And he was saying, I'm not going to do that. Do what? Okay. And then he started losing his hearing and balance. And then out of nowhere, he felt a sucker punch to the kidney area. Okay. And she was saying it's almost as if they ambushed him from behind.
Not any, I don't see anybody on the camera screen like as I'm looking at it, but I see a sucker punch. I feel like somebody kind of ambushed him from behind and made him fall forward by punching him in the kidney area. So it'll be very interesting to me if he has damage to that part of his body. I don't even know how you tell that, but if that's a thing. And I feel this like, oh my God, I'm falling forward and I can't hear, like I can't hear anything. So it's like there's noise, and the noise is like a frequency buzzing noise. And I believe that this is the beginning of him starting to pass out of his physical body. I don't think he was dead right then. And I really absolutely don't feel like he drowned. That's not what I'm getting. I feel like they use the ocean as the backdrop, because as I'm watching this movie play out, he's walking beside the water, but he's not in the water. He may have put his feet in the water. He may have gone up to his waist in the water, but he's not in the water to drown. That's just absolutely not what happened.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? That was deep though. She said that allegedly the water was used as a backdrop. Not that he was in the water to the point of dying, from the water, what happened in the water, but could have been by the water, walking by the water, and then fell, okay, when this part happened. Let's see. Second Sin for you says Sloan is well known in the industry and people doubt her, but a lot listen. Perhaps now she is speaking more. People will pay attention to this. And you know what? Second Sin for you. As of yesterday, okay, let me see how many so far today, because I know she had the video out for 7 hours when I had watched this video yesterday. She had 30K. Let's see. It's gone up to 65, over 65K right now. And it's been out 20 hours. Okay. So people are watching. And I even looked at just some of the comments because she had a whole lot of comments. I was like, wow, there are a lot of people, more than we know of, that have had some type of suspicions. And that's what I was saying, y'all. There are people out here that knew something was not right, and they still feel that. But they are more comfortable with just settling for, okay, I'm going to go with what the news has told us and move on from this, okay? Because they don't want to be uncomfortable in trying to get to the truth. There are some people like that, okay? Hey, is this doctor? Look, y'all, I got to figure out which one, because 2 doctors, this Ridgeway or Brace, because y'all's names don't show up for me. Good morning, sis. Welcome. Okay. So my thing is, more people may actually start really thinking about it, that follow her, that have really listened to her on other celebrities. Okay. Because she had not come out and done like a reading on Malcolm Jamal Warner until yesterday. Okay. And she said this is part 1. So obviously she might do another part 2. Hey, dreamy girl. Hey, sis. Okay. But pay attention to what she said. That was deep. She said the ocean was used as a backdrop to his death. Lord have mercy. Ooh, that thing was deep there.
And when you're looking around it and I'm hearing this buzzing tone, it actually reminds me like when you get those sharp ringing in your ear, I'm feeling that, and like a high-pitched buzzing, but it's like a bunch of bees buzzing around my ears. I can't hear anything. So when he's doing this, I'm watching him watch this, and he's sitting there almost expressionless like this. This is the vision I'm getting of him watching himself on this old-time movie, playing it out. And then
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Cranking the thing so he can see more, and he keeps going over the part of the ocean. I'm walking over the ocean, I'm moving over that part, and immediately my mind goes over here to my like right side, masculine male, 3 men. 3 men wearing hats almost like those, and again, it's a reference to an old movie. almost like those old detective movies where you've got the guys wearing the hats and they're smoking the cigars. And suddenly I see a bunch of baseball cards.
Okay, so she said that in what she said was men. So remember, we were saying that there were probably other people out there. I'll still stand on that. I believe it was multiple people out there. Okay. I never believed that Malcolm was ever married to that lady, to be honest. Right, Catherine. Okay. And to be honest, that, hey, it's no public record of it. So your thoughts about that may actually be true. Okay. Some substances like hallucinogens can give an out of body experience. Oh, yes. You're right about that second sim for you. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And she said that while she was watching, she saw multiple men wearing these certain hats, okay, and had cigars, and they had baseball cards, pages, and books of baseball cards. Shout out to Dreamy Girl for being a member for 14 months. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate the support. And shout out to the Open Book family for exceeding our 6K goal. We are on headed to the next of 7K. Let's go. Okay. So these men in this vision that she was seeing there were standing to the side, had cigars, and they had baseball cards, pages of them. And the only thing that I could reference in regards to a significance or a symbol for the baseball cards was that when you're trading, because she's going to talk about that, when you're trading, some people get money for the, different players that are being traded, worth more money on the cards and so forth. Well, did y'all know that the Major League Baseball trade deadline occurred at the end of July 31st? Okay, it just ended in that month. Now, all of this happened around July 20th. Okay, so I don't know the significance yet. I was kind of just playing around, but I did find that information out about the baseball major league trade deadline each year. Well, this year it fell on July 31st. Okay, for them to trade and so forth. So I'm still not getting that part, but I'm gonna let y'all listen to what else she said about this part of the baseball cards.
So I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
Right.
So I'm seeing like pages and books of baseball cards, and we're trading these cards, and the three like gambling guys playing craps, but it's not, it's baseball cards, and they're playing them. So I'm asking, is there somebody that you went to see who was a baseball player professionally? Because these are cards, I'm assuming these are professional baseball players. Or is there some reason that they're bringing this up? Do you have like a collection that everybody needs to know about that's like worth a lot of money? Or I don't understand. Is there a relative that is a baseball player? I don't get what that is. So my mind is going all over the place with this, and it's actually really rather confusing. And it happened immediately when they said that he drowned. I got confused by that conversation, and my mind went literally everywhere. And I started writing down notes until I was ready to do the video. Now, the baseball players, the people that I'm seeing on the cards, I personally don't recognize them, but these three men are over here and they're smoking cigars and they're like sitting there and they're talking. I can't hear what they're saying, but Malcolm is still focused here on the beach. These guys are doing the baseball cards, and then immediately I go to a conversation with Malcolm. Okay, like I'm not in it. I'm hearing it in my head. A conversation, and he is saying, I don't want to do that. It's very clear I said no, and no means no. I get the impression from the baseball card playing men with the cigars, I get the impression that there's something behind them doing that. So as I'm feeling the energy, I'm then drawn into a building, kind of like a abandoned brick building. I don't know, or something like that. And I'm going inside the door and it looks pretty run down. I really don't want to be there. I don't want to feel the energy. But as I walk in, I step into a room and I've got to remove all of my clothes. This is not me, this is him. I've got to remove all my clothes and I'm in my underwear. I can't go into this room unless I show up that way. And then they pat me down. So they're checking either for wires, mics.
Oh, wow. You know what? Second Semaphore, you said 3 strikes, you're out. Wow. Clock that. Let me put that down in my little notes because I don't know the significance of baseball cards. Like I said, with that part, she didn't even know. Wow, I never thought about that. 3 strikes, you're out. Okay, so now she's going to like this facility, some type of warehouse place, she said, where there were men and women there. And y'all know what it made me think about when she had said something like that. Y'all remember on New Jack City? Grand Rising, now good welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, so you saw this? Okay. Yes, some very good points. But y'all, we haven't even gotten to the deep stuff. I want us to listen to some of this part, but then we're gonna get into some real like stuff that he was. Ooh, I ain't gonna say it yet. But I'm telling y'all, last night I went to go live and talk about this while I was fresh on my mind because it's a lot that really connects some things here. And so forth. Right, Mrs. X, I'm telling you. Okay, it made me think of New Jack City when Pookie, y'all know they sent Pookie into the operation, right? And when he went into that operation, now he was already a crackhead. Now you were not supposed to send a drug addict onto into a place like that when they're trying to recover and do all of that, right? So when he went into that facility and they were recording, notice that the people in there working and putting everything together had to pretty much be naked, okay? The girls had on underwear, but they didn't have anything else on. And that's to make sure you're not stealing the products and all of that. So it made me think about doing that picture because I have a photographic memory and I'm a visual learner. So I always try to think of how can I connect something, right? That's the reading teacher in me as well. So it made me think about that movie. Like, what were they doing to the point? Why do you have to be pretty much naked in that facility? Okay, where you had to remove your clothes as you came in there, and it was men and women.
Pouches, I don't know what they're checking for, but they're checking for something. As I go into that room, I see groups of people lined up. I see, this is so weird. I see people on like the floor, kind of. They're kneeling on like a step thing on the floor and they're looking through something and I can only see their backsides. This is male and female. They have no clothes on, as in just in underwear or like bra and underwear, tighty whities. Anyway, I see that and I look behind it and I see a group of men. Now, these men don't belong here. This is so weird. It's like a puzzle. These men don't belong there. These are men that are, they all wear certain hats the same way, and they're not the baseball card players' hats. They show up in dark gray, like they're grayed out. Okay, so the image flashed in my mind and they're grayed out. So as I'm like going into this feeling, I'm going over here and seeing 6 to 8 men wearing the same kind of hats. And immediately it strikes me like agents, bankers, brokers, something like this. Like they handle money. I see calculators, but I see them all dressed, well, they're in gray, but I'm assuming it's like black suits. They have cufflinks on, they have rings on. So that's showing me, and again, the cufflinks is a reference to a whole other place in time. I mean, do people wear cufflinks? Maybe when they're getting married. Anyway, the cufflinks are, I'm drawn right to that. And so these are like people with money. You just saw the camera move. People with money or people who can acquire things and they dress in a particular way. They are standing there and they are quietly, some of them have like long beards. look a bit different, and I really can't, I don't know who they are, but they're looking at all of this that's going on. And I feel Malcolm in his box over here saying, no, I'm not doing this. And I'm going to tell you something that's like striking me as very weird. But as I look at the energy, I feel like somebody out of whatever I've just described wanted Malcolm to be a mule. And I'm going to say like a gang member mule, like the mafia, like the cartel. They wanted him to do something, and he wasn't going to do that. I also feel like there was a trick that lured him to Costa Rica. It wasn't as described.
Ooh, did we not talk about that, y'all? Now, and y'all have been saying it in the chat too, because she even mentioned it. Second Sin for You has said he seemed not to conform to that world. Perhaps he was given chances and refused. And when you don't play ball, they don't like that. Come on now. Okay. Now Goose said with the baseball thingies, they probably hit Malcolm with a baseball bat, taped his mouth, and tossed him in the ocean. I was figuring, because we were saying that, was it possible that something could have happened to him prior to being in the water? Okay. And my thing is this: we don't really know the truth of any of that. Was he really in the water? Okay, was he wet? Or did somebody just found the body there and was like, oh, this man, we think he drowned in this water? You know, it's a lot that we just really probably won't ever know with this. Okay. Now, something else, and we're going to get to that other statement about the QT too, Nagu, because it's something that I thought about with that as well. Hey, Reggie, welcome. Thank you for joining. Oh, it was something else I was about to say. Something else y'all just said, and I had gotten distracted with that part. Oh my gosh, it was something else someone else just said. Oh my goodness. Not playing. Okay. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Lots of substances come through. Oh, thank you. Bam. Second Sin for You. You just brought it back. You just brought it back to me. Thank you. Hey, Jasmine, welcome. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Yes. Now, remember, y'all, earlier on in this, when we were and when we were talking about, okay, this is the part that brought that part to me. When we were talking about Costa Rica, and I said that, for one, they're not going to want any bad attention on them, for the simple fact a lot of people travel there, okay, for vacations, for retreats, you know, just to get away, a lot of tourism. That's how they make their money. Now, if you also look into Costa Rica news, they are fighting a lot of cartel, you know, I don't even be wanting to say it over here on my channel. Y'all know what I'm talking about. In the rugs. Okay? Finding it in bulks. Okay? Cracking down on that. So it's very prevalent over there in that particular area. Okay? It's a lot. It's like a war on it that's happening. So they're really trying to really crack down on it. And so that part wouldn't surprise me. Okay, see, I was thinking more industry related. Perhaps this is underworld. Yeah, come on, Second Sin for You. You are headed on the right track, because this is where this is going. Okay, substances, people, weapons, different things. Underground, because she's going to say a certain word. Y'all, look, y'all ahead of where she. If I start talking about it, it's almost like I'm trying not to go too fast, because I want y'all to make the connections on y'all own. But y'all getting it. I tell y'all, this the smart group. My husband, he not even trying. Okay. Yeah, how you drown with no water in your lungs? Okay. Hi, Amazing Mountain. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for sharing that comment the other day, because it sparked a thought where I wanted to look up something. So thank you so much for engaging in the comments under the videos. Rumors are they cremated Malcolm. I don't know how true that is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Malcolm and Mother wrote a book on the industry 6 months ago. It's on Amazon. Yes, she did an interview, and 6 months later, Malcolm is dead. Yes, and I did a video on that. Was it Saturday morning? Saturday morning, yes. Was it Saturday? Y'all, I forgot. I think it was Saturday because I showed that interview early that morning. Yeah, with the lady, and she was talking about the different fears that it brings about because they can mess up your career. She talked about that in the interview. It was 6 months ago. She talked about the imbalance of power. This is his mother in an interview, y'all. This was 6 months ago. Yes, so you're on it. It was said that they had a private funeral last week. I don't know. I guess so. I haven't seen anything on the news or anything, possibly. So if that's true, you can't find the truth of what took place with his body with the cremation. Right, right, exactly. Because if he was cremated, you definitely can't do an autopsy now. Right. Okay. So yes, y'all are hitting it on the nail right now.
Now, when I look at the people responsible, I get an older woman.
Uh-oh.
Older woman. And this older woman, she likes to manipulate energy. So when we manipulate energy, we call that a form of, I guess, spell casting. I want to make you do something I know you don't want to do. So what can I make you do? And how do I do it? Well, first of all, I'm going to get you off balance. I think that's a reference to the beach. I'm going to get you off balance. So you're going to go over there and it's going to be hard for you to regain your steps, your balance, because I kind of pushed you and now you can't hear and now you don't know what's right. This is the first thing. And by the way,
like to confuse someone where you know it's something they want to do. Now he said older woman. She said older woman. And I was like, can't be Tanisha that she referring to because Tanisha is younger in this particular case. Okay. And it's almost like he had a vision, and she's gonna get into it, of trying some new things. He was about to do some new things. And so sometimes if people know your plans ahead of time, okay, this is why you can't share everything with everyone, because some people will not want it to come to fruition. Okay. And so it's almost like, let me get him over here on this trip. Now, we did say, I know for a fact, I said, did he know what he was really getting into as far as the trip and as far as who he was marrying? Okay. Did he really know what that trip was about when he was on his way? When he was in the airport, we've seen that picture from TMZ. We could see it all over his face that he looked concerned. He did not look like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go on vacation, all excited. Y'all know the cruise pictures you take right before you get on the Carnival ship. Okay, you're not looking all frowning, wrinkles in your forehead, no smile. No, you on there cheesing, probably got a drink in your hand already. Okay, so that was another clue as to, did he feel something was off? Another clue about maybe him feeling something off with this trip. Remember his co-host from Not All Hood, okay, stated that Malcolm had sent her a 5-paragraph email while he was on the plane. He was also, now this coming from her, allegedly telling her some plans. Okay, she said that he was talking about milestones that they had already reached. And he was talking about some other things like possible funding, where they were going to have some things funded, and their plans for the show. She also stated that while he was there, he was texting her leading up to the day right before he passed away. Okay, so in those text messages, were there any clues or something that could have given her like a pre-warning that he was feeling something was off? But if you have your mindset on one thing in one way you're trying to go, and then you have somebody else in your ear and they're trying to guide you off of that without it being obvious, okay? Without it being obvious. Even, and I'm gonna make a biblical reference here for a second. Even when Jesus knew he had to go to the cross, and Peter, his very own, was one of the disciples, told him, no, you don't have to do this. Don't do this. He said, I rebuke you, Satan, because he saw that the enemy was using him in that moment to get him off track, to get him off course. And some people will come and try to get you off track, get you off course. And because we know them, we trust them, they love us supposedly, we kind of listen to them. But then it starts becoming harder because you like, do I pay attention to what I'm feeling and being led to do? Or do I pay attention and satisfy what this person wants me to do? Okay, so then you can kind of get a little confused. And she's going to go into that part. Okay. Oh, y'all have the same birthday. Oh, okay, so you have an upcoming birthday. All right. Happy early birthday. Could be Tanisha's mother, and that resort he was staying on was for a mental illness, wellness. Odd why she chose that for him. And Jasmine, I remember you brought that up before. And you know what? That's a very good point, because was he in a mental space where they felt like he needs to go and get some help? Where was that a part of the let's go over here for this this other retreat place, because they deal in that as well, or this resort? Maybe you just need to go in and get your mind clear, go take a vacation with your family, and then they end up over there, and then this ultimately ends up to him. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Did he really know what he was getting into with this trip? Thank you for sharing that again. If the mom have anything to do with that latest statement about being birthed in water and transitioning in water is eerie to me, right? And also, that was the point of that video I did yesterday, because that one word could have possibly been a clue that she may not have perhaps written that. Okay, because why would you have a word beatific, wait, oh my gosh, I had it yesterday. Beatific has a Spanish origin. And I think even Amazing put under there, it's a Spanish Catholic origin. Now, his mama does not look Spanish to me. Okay. And I know different words have different origins, like from Latin or France or things like that. But y'all, we don't just walk around with certain words that are from a Catholic standpoint, things like that, and just putting that into our statements. Okay, if you're Black. Okay, because half of the time we don't even know how to say certain Spanish words. Like, y'all see how hard it was for me to say that? I can barely say Nicaragua. I have to think about it before I really say it. Okay. Second sin for you said just the thought was lack of money an issue, and perhaps this could have been an opportunity to make money, and he did not want to. The underworld brings a lot of money. Okay, possibly. Clock that. Write it down somewhere. Okay. This was very scary. I never looked at Sloan Bella, but video popped up in my recommended videos yesterday. And you know what? Me too, Miss Absolutely. I am not subscribed to her and had not, I don't follow her just to watch her stuff. I was on my home screen yesterday, and guess what? She popped up in the algorithm. I said, well, what does she have to say? Does it I always say, let me just see, does it confirm something I'm already thinking? I ain't going there looking for answers. But maybe this will give me, some insight to what I've been thinking, and then let me research from it. Okay. She is spot on with what is suspected. Basically, it was a setup. Possibly. Okay. Well-dressed men in a ritual-like scenario. Exactly. Could he have followed behind her, since it looks like she was traveling along with his daughter in those parts of the world? Possibly. Especially since she was putting her in day camp in a country. Yes, exactly. Because she said she wanted to put her in a camp when her and her friend went the time before in June. She said she wanted to go do a homestay, and she wanted to put the children into a camp. Could be open to maybe those around him prior to trip was driving him crazy to gaslit him to get him there in the. Ooh, now that's a possibility. Yes, he did seem quite frustrated. Okay. Wow, that's a possibility. Thank you, Dreamy Girl. Let's see here. got to watch and see if those around him. Okay, and we talked about that Saturday, second sin for you. You may not have been in there. We said that pay attention. See, some stuff we don't even have to get on here and talk about, y'all. All we have to do is sit back and watch. Watch who starts emerging. Okay, that's it. We don't even really have to talk about it, who we think. No, no. All we have to do is just watch it. Just peep it and write it down. Okay. Malcolm was extremely pro-black, but Tanisha was more connected to her Latin culture and had a lot of white friends, which is opposite of Malcolm Jamal Warner. She just don't seem like the woman he would be attracted to. Right. And you know, one of his friends said on that's been knowing him since 2004, Tama Harper, she said on the podcast that when she met Malcolm's wife, she said the first thing I said to him was, "Whoo, I'm surprised she black." And she said, then what did you say? He said, I told you, well, I'm surprised you thought she wouldn't be. But yes, so she's black. She has black, but if you look on her pictures, even on Facebook, and there's nothing wrong with it. She does have more white friends and so forth. So or Hispanic. She seems to, and yeah, a lot of the pictures, and in those movies, we watched the movies clips on Saturday. Okay, some of her movie clips. A lot of white people in some of the movies are very dark. Okay, she was in the beginning stages of her career. Okay, so those are things to think about. Those are things to definitely think about. And thank you for highlighting that. And both her and her hubby had pics of their love for scuba diving. Oh, okay. The mom statement makes me raise a hairy eyebrow. Yeah, right. Second sin for you.
But the way the ears are, I feel like, I don't know, somebody like Mickey'd him, roofied him, put something in his eggs. I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel right. Like, he feels upset in the solar plexus area. They're pulling on that area. Yes, you're getting that right. I can feel him. The room gets cold, but it's a very weird feeling just above your belly button, like solar plexus area, that I'm getting from that. Like, also stomach upset, but they're pulling on the energy from there. They're wanting to pull him out. He's not playing ball. That's a funny reference.
There you go.
So I'm feeling like he was asked to be a drug mule or something along those lines. And it's really interesting because this man, even though he was on camera, on TV, many hit shows, podcasts, about to do whatever he was about to do. And that brings me to the next thing I picked up on. He was not easily bought and sold. Okay, that was the conflict that went on from past generations to this generation.
And I love that. I love that came across. You know what I'm saying? And I think y'all said that in the chat today, that he wasn't a sellout and could not be bought or sold. And that, to me, was paying homage to who Malcolm Jamal Warner was. And I'm so glad that came out in this, that part of who we saw was probably really real, that he was who he was in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I'm so glad that came out. Jaguar Wright also said that Malcolm Jamal Warner was drug first. She said this before Sloan said it. Interesting. Right. And you know what? I don't discount everything Jaguar says. Okay. I believe some of the stuff she says. I'm not going to call that woman completely crazy. She's seen a lot. Now, I'm not going to believe everything either. Okay. You got to kind of discern what's probably real and what's probably, but we could all kind of pick up on that. That something probably happened to him first before he got into the water. Because come on now. Come on. It wasn't adding up. Mom makes my brows rise too. So gross to think, but it is what it is. And hey, in this, it's like it was an older woman. Okay. I don't know what older woman she's referring to. She said older. So I was like, well, let's think. We already said mom number one on that list. Okay. What other older women around him? Some people were saying Felicia Rashad. Okay. But he spoke highly of Felicia Rashad, you know. Like I said, I don't, y'all, what you know about me is I don't put nothing past nobody. And that goes for real life, by celebrity life, all this. We can know people, but sometimes some things will cause people to act out in certain ways and you just may not understand. So I don't ever say, oh, this person would never, or no, because we don't know. We're in human flesh. Okay. We don't know what people will do or won't do. His last TV series is about solving and defending mysterious crimes. Yes, right. Hey, it is what it is. The elite wants to bring the Cosby Show back. They're losing money. They had to sacrifice someone. And you know, the Cosby Show comes on here daily on Fubo TV too, in Texas. So I didn't even know it wasn't showing everywhere. I just don't believe that statement that was issued by Malcolm's mother about the water. It was strange, right? This whole thing makes me feel creeped out. Right. I hope we can find an answer. I'm telling you, I think we get somewhere by the end of this, though. I'm wondering, is the mom okay? I just feel like something's not right. Right. What was the last show he was in? I thought it was The Resident. Yes, and he did another show too. Who put that in the chat? This was it amazing? Let me see. Who put that about that show? Yes, Amazing Mountain. Can you put the name of the show? I forgot the name of that show, but I did see it. Hey, Skeptic, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Not easily bought and sold. All right. So this he didn't want to do. And I do feel there's a setup in his inner circle. So he was definitely
a setup in his inner circle, allegedly. Okay. Pay attention.
pulled out of his focus, which was, now this is interesting. So what I see, the next thing I see, I have been all over the place with this. The next thing I see is, and I'll just say it, those notebooks, and I don't have one on my table, but those notebooks you get at like the dollar store for your kids and you send them back to school. Typical, just little 90-cent notebook. He's got this in his hand.
Do you still need your high school diploma? Are you struggling to find a job? Are you?
He shows me pages, and on the pages are just pages of names, okay? And one name stands out, like really, like is highlit and comes close to my eye range, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's high, and I can't get it out of my head, and it makes no sense to me. I have no fucking idea. I literally do not know why I keep getting this. And it's making me a bit nutty because I don't even know if these two actually had a connection in life. I mean, maybe they met each other at some point. But I am literally talking about the initials QT. That's a director whose name pops out of this book at me like it's lit up and gets bigger and moves towards my face. So that name is circled and it moves closer to me. And I'm like, what the hell does he have to do with it? I'm not saying his name on here.
Okay, now I don't want to say his name either, but someone put his name in the chat. Now I also went to I went and typed it in too to see for myself, were there any directors that had initials QT? If you know it, you can put it in the chat. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. Now, what I will say about this particular director, because there's really only one that pulled up, okay, is he is about to go into retirement from, because I looked it up, y'all, from making movies, okay, directing actual movies. And before he retires, he wants to work on a 10th film, okay, before he retires. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Okay, he wants to work on his 10th film before he retires. Now, this film has not been started. He is still working ideas. Okay. Now, just because he's retiring from the movies does not mean he is going to just stop, because now, check this out. He wants to move into writing and producing television shows, plays. Okay. I checked to see if they have a connection so far. Okay. Now, it's a reason also that I wanted y'all to take note of this. Okay. Because he has a movie, I think, coming out already that a lot of people are wondering, it's not going to do too well. So he's bringing on another director, David, I forgot his last name, to help him do some things. But think of the different types of movies he's had. Okay. Also, remember at the beginning of this, when we first started watching her, remember she said that it was those old time movie screens that was like when he winded it up. And remember, she said that it was something up, it was blank, like sepia, and it had no energy or no color. Okay. So to me, when I think of him in the process of now wanting to do one more film, it has not come into fruition, or the idea is not there yet. It wasn't in motion yet. Okay. Now, I don't know, and it's the reason I'm saying this part so y'all can write it or clock this down as well, because we're going to get into something else that Malcolm Jamal Warner was about to work on. If perhaps he was going to get with him and collaborate with him on these upcoming series. Okay, and I'm going to get into what type of project he was about to really kick off. Okay, he announced it May 2021. All right, so I want y'all to kind of let's keep track of this, okay? Because it may all start piecing together some things. Because I said, wait a second, I ain't never seen them in movies together. Why would Malcolm Jamal Warner have his name down? But the type, oh y'all, it gave me chills. I'm telling y'all, last night I wanted to come live because y'all, it is so much that I did not know. Like I told y'all, I did not know Malcolm Jamal Warner had the podcast. I didn't know he was in music. I didn't know poetry, all of that. And a lot of people, if you think about it, did not know about this until he passed away. We were like, he had a podcast? I ain't never heard of that. Okay. He was in a band. I never heard about that. It wasn't on the big screen. It wasn't out there. We just knew him on The Resident. We knew him, Cosby Show. But it was so much other stuff that he was working on. Okay. Hey, Teron, welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, now go clock it. Okay. I'm telling you. So let's keep going, because y'all, it gave me goosebumps last night. Let's see. Could the wife be related to both Quentin? Possibly. Both last names, Tarantino and Torres, have Spanish and Italian. Yeah, because I was wondering, did he have a connection over there in Costa Rica? I mean, we can always, hey, just pay attention to that. We can clock that for sure. Because I was wondering that same thing. Was there a connection between them as well? I don't know, but I find that odd. If I'm on vacay with my spouse, I'm not sending 6-paragraph text messages to the co-worker. Okay. All right. And we don't know what's in it. Girl, open your eyes. Tell us, were there any clues? Okay. Okay. I didn't know either. I did not know he was doing it to his dad. Okay. I'm telling you, I didn't either. I really didn't.
But the initials are Q and T. And I'm like, first name Q, last name T, I believe. I hope I can spell out in my head. But that's the name I'm seeing. I know who it is, and he's had big blockbuster movies. He's known as really quirky and weird, and I don't think we've heard much from him recently, but he is a director, and he's higher echelon director, and he's responsible for bringing some old-time actors out and giving them a career again, or hiring them in his movies when maybe their careers weren't going. But his name pops out like lightning to me, okay? Just like whoosh, like this. So I believe Malcolm was in the middle of a project with these names in the book, whatever these names are, that he's handwritten, by the way. This is not typed. This is something he carried with him. So these names are handwritten and there's a project connected to it because I see a camera, I see a film, I see a microphone, and I know that he was interviewing people in this, that he wrote down these names. And for some reason, that name comes out so strong. So it is my belief that that particular director has something that's going to hit him publicly soon. And I'm not sure what it is, but I know that they put tape over Malcolm's mouth and they did not want him to do this, okay? Because his mouth is taped now as I'm saying this. I didn't get that before, but I know it now because I can see it in my head as I'm talking. So the mouth is taped. So they did not want him doing this. That's another component of what he was doing. And if he is going to do this, we want a piece of this and we want it to go this way, which then takes the creative, it puts creative bias on it, meaning you're not free to create it the way that you want to create it because you've got these people taping your mouth until you speak it the way they want you to. And then immediately when I say speak it, I go to a freaking speakeasy. Again, a 20s reference. And no, I wasn't alive in the 20s that I'm aware of. Anyway, it's a speakeasy. So I am seeing that Malcolm was involved, and I'm just going to word it like this. What is a speakeasy? He's very creative in how he shows things. Like he's got a textured, flavored, intuitive vocabulary while trying to push things so that psychic types can pick it up. It's very creative and very interesting. Now, let's look at what a speakeasy is. A speakeasy is where people went to smoke and drink and sing and dance and long pearl necklaces and 20s flappers outfits, and they could do drugs, and alcohol was prohibition, and we went in there and we did this. So this
The police don't want you to know this, but the reason we always ask for your insurance first before your registration
kind of shows me that Malcolm was doing something on the underground level, underneath, hidden. And again, speakeasies are drugs, alcohol, entertainment, singers, dancers, all of that type of thing, gambling, all kinds of things that you couldn't do in the as above, so below. You couldn't do up on the street level because you would get arrested or the authorities. He was doing something like this. I feel it's a creative project, and I feel it was coming into tangibility, and that's why he was being targeted. I also see the older female over here doing the magic manipulation, and she is wanting the money, wanting the focus. I want this, I want that. Then there's yet another component, and I'm positive of this. I feel like in this, I mean this with no disrespect, I feel like Malcolm was reconsidering his life and his choices. And I feel like he may have wanted more independence in his relationships. So I feel like he was going down that kind of a road. Like, I need to go off on my own. At the same time, I'm seeing him really going into a time in his life where he's making a lot of money and he's able to focus differently. And he's really creatively going to come to stride with what needs to be said. I need to say it. And so, of course, he had to end up dead. And that is really...
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Oh, my God. Now, she just said a whole lot. Okay. I'm going to bring her back in a second because I want to show y'all some other stuff right quick. Now, one thing... Hold on one second. Okay, so first, let's go into the so she said speak easy. Okay, that was something. If I don't know what it is, I have to look it up because I'm like, I don't know what that is. A speakeasy, in its strict definition, is a place where alcoholic beverages were illegally sold, and this was during the time when they were prohibited. Okay, the manufacture, sale, and transport of alcohol was illegal in the U.S. So these speakeasies served as underground, secret establishments where Americans still seeking spirits could indulge. So a modern speakeasy, however, does not require illegality, but instead it refers to like a bar or a place that still has that hidden quality, often concealed behind a door in a restaurant or a hotel. So I was like, speakeasy. So I started looking up particular speakeasies. Okay, Cal, you're onto something. We are about to get there as well. So I said, wait, Atlanta. Now I saw some speakeasies in California. They're all over New York. And y'all, my eyes came to a speakeasy in Atlanta. I said, wait a second. Hold up, stop the press. The name stood out to me. And I said, I've seen this name before. Now, I'm not from Atlanta. I don't know anything about Atlanta. Okay. But the name of that particular speakeasy stood out to me. Guess what? That speakeasy is the only place so far that has even attempted publicly to honor Malcolm Jamal Warner. If y'all remember, I did a short video. Let me pull that up right quick. I did a short video on it. And didn't even realize, I didn't even realize at the time that it was considered a speakeasy. Okay. I was like, what is a speakeasy, baby? Because I've never heard of that. But the name stood out to me. Okay, so if you haven't seen this, let me refresh your memory right quick. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Hello, and welcome to The Open Book. The Atlanta poetry community gathered for a powerful tribute to the late Malcolm Jamal Warner, celebrating his artistic legacy with an afternoon of poetry, music, and live performance. The event titled The Man, the Message, the Music, the Mission honored Warner's contributions as an Emmy-winning actor, spoken word advocate, musician, and cultural force. Dozens of artists from across the country performed during the show, which ran from noon to 3 p.m. today. All of the proceeds benefited Warner's family.
Malcolm Jamal Warner with a tribute featuring local musicians, poets, and comics. It's happening right now at City Winery Atlanta. And Fox 5's Eric Perry joins us live now with more on how things are going and how he is being remembered. Eric, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Paul. So it's about to kick off any moment now, right? We all know Theo, or Malcolm Jamal Warner, as his iconic character is Theo, but he was so much more than that. He loved music, he loved poetry, and he was a lover of the arts. Take a look here. This is Atlanta City Winery, a pretty good crowd for a Wednesday afternoon here. He performed here at Atlanta City Winery.
So the name of the speakeasy was City Winery. Okay, so I said, let me go back to this video and let me look at this again. Okay, because now, of course, y'all, the alcohol part is not illegal, but it's a certain ambiance that it brings. It's a flair that it gives in terms of a speakeasy, and also the poetry, the things they talk about are sometimes things that are not stated out in the main media, or things there, you know how like back in the day, probably with the slaves, there were certain codes that they had, certain words that they used that other slaves understood, but the other people did not know. I believe they spoke in this about certain topics, okay, that were not going to be popular in a lot of arenas, a lot of places. And it's another reason I'll show you as to why I'm saying this, okay? It is what it is that I went to a speakeasy in Atlanta about 15 years ago, and he spoke and played the guitar. Okay, wow, that is awesome. And Waho, the funeral in LA, went not from there either. if anywhere should have been held at where he's from or lives, stayed where most of his family and friends at. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Right, Shelly. Okay, clock that. Like seriously. I thought about that too, but
Winery many times as well. So that's why it's only appropriate that so many people that he loved and respected came together here to honor his life and his legacy. There's a wide variety of talent that's on the lineup. I talked with Tama Harper, who's one of the organizers. She walked us through their relationship and why it's so important for her to honor her friend.
One of the most educated, down-to-earth, well-raised gentlemen I've ever encountered in my life. He loved his people, he loved his wife, he loved his daughter, he loved his passions, he loved music, he loved poetry, and he was a humble spirit. He just wanted to be his best self, and he was already great, but he was like, I can always be better. So, and then he saw that in you. Like, I didn't have to change who I am at all to be in Malcolm's world. He accepted everybody for exactly who they were.
Yeah, I talked to so many people here who all said the same thing. There's still some tickets that are available. This will last until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so there's still time. We're talking with those who just came out, thought it was appropriate to be here on a Wednesday to honor his life and legacy. We'll have more for you when you join us starting at 4 o'clock, but it's a beautiful.
Now, this tribute at the Atlanta City Winery was a communal offering to say thank you for the way that Malcolm gave, for the work he created, for the bridges he built between TV, poetry, music, and love. While many tributes may emerge across the country and beyond, this one was rooted in the soil of poetry, his refuge and release. Malcolm Jamal was more than a household name. He was a poet's poet, a quiet giant, a gentle thunder, whose voice echoed through the stage and souls. The entire net profit from that event will go to Malcolm's family. Every single dollar, no fees, no skim, just love. It is not a memorial, but they coined it as a love letter. So prayers up for all of Malcolm's family. Okay, so I wanted to show that part first. Okay, City Winery. Okay, oh man, hold on, y'all. Okay, City Winery. Now, Tama Harper, the founder of that particular Speakeasy City Winery, is a close friend of Malcolm Jamal Warner's. Okay. He also was a collaborator here at this City Winery with Tama Harper. Tama Harper also was on his podcast, Not All Hood, that was aired either the same day of his death or the 21st, 3 weeks ago. Now, when I listened to that podcast, y'all, I probably wouldn't even want to play half of the stuff she said on there on my channel because I would be nervous. And the reason I would be nervous is I see why certain conversations would not be had on the big screens or in a lot of different places. It could be had there at his podcast and in her club, okay? Because there was a lot of racial talk, and it was like really real, like table talk that you would talk is like Wendy Williams would say that you would talk about in your house, but she's saying it publicly. And so I was like, oh my God. Now, there's a clip I do want to show from her because I want to see what was the connection between her of this speakeasy, and they were collaborators together. And then that was a connection here that she had just done an interview on his Not All Hood podcast that was released the day or the day after he passed away. Okay, so let me pull that up. And the title of this particular episode was Why the Hood Deserves More Respect. Now, she's known by the name of Georgia Me, okay? Speaks the truth. And now Malcolm, he probably knows how she talks, okay? I don't know if Candace was quite ready. Because, baby, my mouth dropped a few times. I was like, Cat Williams, I don't think I would have said all of that. Okay, because baby, she's raw. Okay, they not ready for her. And if they had a connection, the things, the knowledge he was probably coming into, this going somewhere about his culture, about racial topics. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all hear some of this first.
We was at Juneteenth.
Okay.
And Malcolm and his beautiful wife came in.
Uh-huh.
And I was happy, right? So he was like, "You never met my wife?" I said, "Nah, I'm just happy she black." And when I tell you the way he looked at me, like he could have slapped me, he said,
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
"I'm mad that you thought she wouldn't be." Y'all just don't know what I've been going through.
I know that says more about you or about you.
But it's what, you know, it's like the success package. I made this money. Let me get this rice and bean, duck sauce, or corned beef hash. You know what I'm saying? I ain't messing with no fried chicken, no collard greens. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is what you're going for. So that's what happens. So when I see brothers who have made a commitment to loving black, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I know he get a lot of pussy thrown at him. This is Theo from the Cosby Show. You know these white men. Come on now. He can't go nowhere.
We didn't see that part on the Cosby Show, but I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but he's
all quiet now. I can't even look at him. Should we look at him?
No. The man is so. I just am so happy that he is the way he is.
Bless you.
Yeah. So I see you. But you know, it's a math thing. I mean, it just so happens that if a black woman especially wants to get married, it's probably not going to be with another black man.
The journalist at photographer, beautiful black woman with the Diana Ross real hair, chocolate. Oh, just gorgeous. She spent a day with me because they were doing a story on me in the paper.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she says, "I want to show you a picture of my family." I'm like, okay.
I'm afraid.
And it's her and this white man and her little
afraid.
baby. And she said, "A black man is not going to appreciate you." I said, "Well, I ain't finna be with no white man." And that's just what it was.
And that was it. That was
what I've had beautiful white men. Shout out to y'all. I just ain't finna touch your sallow skin, bro. I ain't finna be. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Even a man who falls into the good white people category.
You know, the thing about it is, oh man, I had a reading and the lady told me I wasn't gonna be with a white man. She said, with a black man. She said I was gonna be with a German or Italian or something like that. Because when she said he wasn't gonna be black, I said, "What you mean? He gonna be Jamaican?" Because I just thought she meant like American. I just thought she meant American. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord. You're like, because I know the skin color is black. You knew that.
But no. And even that means me being by myself. My mom was by herself for 40 years. I do it. I just love my brothers. I love black men. I would prefer a black American, but if, I am international. So if
I ain't gonna play what you about to say next. Okay. If y'all want to see that, the full one, y'all have to check out Now Hood. Okay, it was episode 3. Okay, she went into a whole thing about herself and some okay, it was real talk. Okay, I will say that. So then it made me think about how Sloan was talking about what she saw with them putting tape over Malcolm's mouth. Okay, notice here it was about him speaking. Okay, here for one, his podcast, Not All Hood. Okay, where you can be as real and raw, I guess, as you want to be and get away with it. Okay, another thing that I noticed was, and I found out, let me go to my notes. Okay, Malcolm Jamal Warner, y'all, had another unreleased new project. In May 2021, he had acquired the film and TV rights first to a novel called Freedom Share, which was about Tunis Campbell and the Georgia freedmen, okay? And it was about a dramatized, pretty much biography of Tunis Campbell, who was a Northern abolitionist, minister, and Reconstruction era politician. And so he not only was going to produce this upcoming project, but he was going to star in this project. Okay. Now let's get into what that is about. Okay. And why this was important. Now, Tunis Campbell was one of the highest ranking Black politicians in the 19th century Georgia, organizing freedmen's communities, fighting for land rights, and advocating for education in post-Civil War South. Okay. And get this, y'all, because this made me think about something as well. Now, Malcolm, he had the rights of developing this story into a limited series or film. Now, remember, we were talking about the QT man, okay, which is a director. So I was wondering, with that aspect, was he looking for someone to help him in that area of where he was trying to take his films, okay? He wanted to be the producer to have creative control to ensure historical accuracy and cultural authenticity. Okay, now remember, even Sloan just said that he was very creative. Okay, and some people did not want some of that to get out in what he was working on. He also wanted to be the lead actor because he was set to portray Tunis himself. Now, in interviews, Malcolm had called Campbell an unsung hero who fought against overwhelming odds. And he said that the project aligned with his commitment to telling Black stories that mainstream media often overlooks. Okay? I want y'all to catch this because this could be a potential reason why he was possibly targeted. Okay? Warner had a long-standing interest in projects blending art and activism. This project would have allowed him to, number one, challenge stereotypical portrayals of Black history. Number two, use his platforms to highlight figures who resisted systemic oppression. And the third thing is to merge his acting and producing skills for a story with educational and cultural background. Okay. Now, let me go to something else that made me think about. Okay. Also, y'all, this is what got me because it made me think about Wakanda. It said that back in this time with Tunis Campbell, this period was called a Black utopia because for a brief time, freed people controlled their own land and governance. Okay? That man, Tunis, was arrested on false charges. They were trying to stop him. Okay? He had to go against white supremacists and pro-slavery sympathizers during this time. And so in this, Malcolm wanted to share this story, but also remember how she said in the notebook, there were all of these different names. It was also allegedly him wanting to share other stories of Black people that people don't know about. Okay, that have done great things like this. Now you have to think about the times that we're in right now. That is not popular right now, especially when they're trying to take us back 50 years. Okay. We're not trying to hear no pro-Black nothing. We're not trying to have no Wakandas no people rising up, none of that. Okay, they don't. It's not going to be popular in the mainstream. Now, if that was going to mess with somebody's money, I want y'all to think about that. Of course, if he's already discussed his plans of where he wants to take things with people who are close to him, and they don't want that because, hey, look, people not trying to hear that right now. We don't want this affecting us. Let's try to do it this way, or let's say it this way. Let's not focus too much on that part. So then he probably got into a place of, look, I just want to do my own thing. Okay. This is what I want to tell. These are the stories that I want to tell. And y'all think about QT, that director. I know his movies are far off, okay, sometimes. But why, after I was doing the research on this part, I go into the bedroom to go to bed. And guess what my husband had pulled up on the guide? Django. Okay. I said, babe. I was like, wait a second, hold up, stop the press. And I asked my husband, I said, now, thinking about this man's movies, do you think if Malcolm Jamal Warner was trying to make a TV series, and this man is actually about to retire from actually making movies, but trying to come into TV, do you think he would have helped him put these Black stories into an entertaining way, or a way where it would really grab attention and really exemplify these unsung heroes that many people don't know about? I'm gonna be honest, I got upset. This was during COVID, right? And I don't even know where it popped up at or something, because we spent a lot of time on the computers when there was COVID. And I learned about Black Wall Street. How come we didn't learn about that in school? Why am I grown in my 30s, I think at that time of 40s, and was just now hearing about what happened in Oklahoma, which is not far from Texas, that Black people had their own banks. They owned everything in the city, and it was burned down. How come we did not learn about that? It's a lot of things that have been hidden, underworld stuff that Malcolm was looking into and was going to bring out to the forefront and put it out there for children to learn about. Because remember, he was talking about hip hop music and some of the lyrics. See, they don't like that either, because you messing with their money. They don't want you talking about, oh, the kids shouldn't be listening to this rap song these lyrics is affecting the children and all of that. He was talking about that kind of stuff on his podcast. So they definitely don't want to hear about you bringing out these Black people that no one really knew about, that were standing up and rising up to power. Okay. And for him to play a part in those roles, he was about to start exposing and telling a lot of things probably that were taking place in this industry on that podcast. Okay. At that speakeasy, I'm pretty sure they talked about a lot of this different stuff as well. Okay. If we probably go through some of the topics and things there. In this here, let me bring up, I wanted to show y'all. Hold on one second. Now, good, we don't know where Malcolm really met his wife. She could have came from overseas. A lot of celeb BMs are going overseas, meeting Afro Latinas. The Wayne, right, because we don't know. I don't even think he knew. Okay, to be honest, I don't think he even knew. Who was she? What were you really getting into with her? And he probably, after 5 months, it's a lot that he probably did not find out about with that woman. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That's my honest opinion. Okay, let me pull up his picture and show y'all. Thank you for your patience if I can get to it. Okay, here it is. Okay, And this is a picture of Tunis Campbell. Hi, Riri. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Dancing, hold it. Yes, I have that on one of my shorts. It was so cute. It was really cute. Okay. So this was Tunis Campbell, the man that Malcolm was going to do a limited series on. Hold on one second. Okay, I apologize. Let's see. Yes, so he wanted to probably go off on his own and really talk about some of these things. Okay. Hi, I'm Just Jazz. Welcome. Oh, prayers for you all. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, y'all trying to see who was at my door. You know, you're trying to be nosy, like, baby, you don't have no, you haven't called or anything. We're not doing sales calls right now. I'm on live. Yes, I have a short with that video. It was so cute. So yes, they did not want a lot of that probably to come out. Okay. Now let me bring up Sloan's video. She's going to talk about a little more. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Also, if you would like to support the channel, let's light it up with some supers, cash apps, or coffees today. If you are enjoying the content, why am I still bringing up my video? I gotta quit doing that. Bringing up the other one. Okay.
Go off on my own. At the same time, I'm seeing him really going into a time in his life where he's making a lot of money and he's able to focus differently, and he's really creatively going to come to stride with what needs to be said. I need to say it. And so, of course, he had to end up dead. And that is really what I'm saying. Of course, he had to end up dead because he had something that was important that he wanted to structure, create, and present. But again, it's underneath in the speakeasy. So, and all of these references to that time frame. And he's still watching and can't believe how he ended up on the beach. I feel like they made up stories and continued to make up stories. And I feel like the Red Cross, that was a lie. I know they said the Red Cross is there, and maybe they were, but the reason that he died is not drowning. I don't feel drowning. Now, he is a Cancer rising with a Pisces moon. However, I don't feel drowning. That is not what happened.
Oh, she said she didn't feel drowning either. Okay, and she said, I don't think the Red Cross was significant in any of that. She said, well, maybe they were there. I don't think they were there, or, you know. So, yeah. She doesn't feel that either. Okay, welcome anonymously. This probably relates to that speech Malcolm did in Minnesota. Ooh, okay. I need to listen to that. Hey, could have been a taste of what was coming.
I feel, honestly, like they wanted to make him a mule. Somebody wanted to make him a mule. I have no idea what these baseball cards are, or how that's connected to his family, his lineage, his history, or the family he married into, or their relatives' history or lineage. I don't know, but it's like super strong. And here's another thought on that, as I'm getting just chills up. I'm being directed. So as I'm looking at him and they want him to be a mule, what other things do they mule? People. They mule people. I'm thinking they wanted him to be involved with product, leaving one country into another country because of who he was. And I think they wanted to hijack his creative project to use it for their things rather than him just go along his merry way and do his stuff the way he was doing it.
Now I could see that happening. Okay. Multiple scenarios came to mind when she talked about this part. Yes, I could see people hijacking his ideas, not really wanting him to do certain things or say certain things. Also, hi Sammy's World, welcome. Also, y'all, I went back to what she was saying about the bankers, the people that were standing around, those men. And it's like they had money. Okay. And with mules, they pretty much can get things from one country to another, whether it's hiding it in something where it's not detected, in bodies. Okay. Y'all remember what was that with Will Smith and Martin? Y'all, what's the name of their movie? Bad Boys. Y'all know Bad Boys, they had those deceased bodies they were sending overseas, and all of them had packs of pills and things inside of their bodies. Okay. Then I started thinking about the alcohol when she was talking about that earlier, and how by him collaborating and hosting events at the Speakeasy, the city winery, were they trying to get something illegal happening there through that particular bar? Okay, I don't put nothing past anybody, because what we do know that she was saying, what that he said in this was, I am not going to do that. And he was standing on business on not doing whatever they were asking him to do. So it's various scenarios with that. It could have been through his creative rights, trying to basically shut him down on exposing these stories and bringing out and talking about these unsung heroes and the things that happen in the Black culture, and speaking life into Blacks and things like that. And by him being Theo, people will really, really listen to him. Then expanding his platform with his podcast, okay? But then if it's anything illegal being transported and him being a factor in that, he did not want to do that. And like people were saying earlier, if you don't want to play ball, okay? I think Second Sin for you said earlier, 3 strikes and you're out. Okay, if they've been asking back, baseball is Bill Cosby energy. My sis said that's some Bill Cosby energy. I can imagine. Hopefully you're taking care. Yes, I'm praying for you because I know that is hard. He called Bill Cosby and told him how happy it went, and the speaking about Black culture, slavery in today's time for Black folks. See, and I even know about that speech. Wow. Oh my goodness. I know, but it did not seem AI. It looked real. Did you see the video with him dancing with his baby? Oh yeah, that one is real. That one's not AI. Yeah. The one with him dancing with his baby girl. Okay. So let's see. Malcolm wanted to go off on his arm. Looking at my notes too, y'all. Of course, he had to end up dead. Okay. She felt he didn't drown. That someone wanted to make him the mule. Okay, we talked about that. Hijacking his creative project. Now, they did say that project, it depends on if he had the funding for it. It wasn't a cast list or anything like that yet. Now, depending on if someone wants to take over, because now that he's deceased, that project will not come to fruition unless someone takes over and keeps it going. Is it someone out there that's going to do that, though, or that knew about his plans to do that? Okay, that's another whole factor. Let's clock that, because let's look to see if someone rises in a position and starts putting those projects out. The producer that made the movie, yeah, that's what we were saying earlier anonymously. Yes, because his name came up, and he's about to retire from making films. He's trying to do one more film before retirement, but they said he really doesn't have a plan yet as far as what that film will be. But that doesn't mean he's not going to work on television and plays. Okay, so I started making those connections. I said, well, what if he comes along and helps in that situation? It's weird how his family act as if he never existed. Even Michael Jackson family allowed a public eulogy. There's no trace of his body being flown back. No funeral trace, just an IG post weeks later. Clock it. Yeah, where's that body? Okay, that's interesting. Malcolm really seemed to be into the speakeasy, and OB tied that particular one to that winery club he was into. Yes, and he was it said that he produced, let me go back to my notes. Okay. He performed and collaborated there. He has held concerts and events, contributing to his music programming. Okay. And him and Tama Harper, which is also the owner, is another collaborator with him. They have known each other for since 2004. Okay, yes, she definitely was, Jazz. Yes, I feel the baseball card thing she's seen refers to trading, but not cards. Ooh, okay. Now that's a good point there. That's a good point.
This is what it feels like to me. I do not know what goes on in Costa Rica. I have no idea what happens there. I don't understand what happens there. I do know that this man did not walk into an ocean where it says, you know, riptide danger, no lifeguard on. I think I'll just go swimming because I'm here with my daughter. Let me kill myself. Right. That's not what happened. He didn't do that. He didn't accidentally do that. That's not what happened. The ocean was used as a backdrop for his death. The ocean was used as a backdrop, and that's actually what I feel happened. So we used it, we made it, it's plausible, it sounds like it could happen. Sure, it could happen. The energy around Malcolm's passing is not one of heavy-weighted drowning. My lungs didn't fill up. I didn't feel that like being dragged down and then released feeling that I have felt with people who've drowned. It didn't feel like that to me. I feel like they used the beach as an opportunity, a plausible one, for their actions. And I feel, just in conclusion, I feel like Malcolm's death was connected to almost akin of being jumped into a gang and not wanting to do what they wanted you to do and not having any recourse around him, being able to let go of that. Like,
hey D, welcome. And that was what I was wondering, was there some type of group there? I always go back in my mind to that place she wanted to visit, and when you look at those pictures of that place, it seems like a cult type of atmosphere to me that believes in a lot of this magic, eco-static dancing type of stuff. Okay. And I don't know what's underlying in that place. Okay. And if they were trying to offer him to do something, and then he wasn't willing to just partake or do what they wanted him to ask. And those of you who were just coming in, she had mentioned earlier that he felt like his ears were ringing and he was like losing focus, balance, and like sick to his stomach, which points to, was he given something? Then she said he felt a hard knock to his kidney area from the back. Okay. And it knocked him down. He was not in the water. He was walking by the water. She stated allegedly. He may have had his feet or something in the water, but then he fell. Yes. Okay. Anonymously. Yes. You said it in the chat too. Okay. So that could be proven if there was a body still through an autopsy and through a toxicology report to see if something would cause him to kind of feel like his hearing is going. And I didn't know this, y'all, but I had seen this one time when I was just looking up. I don't even know why I was looking it up or what made me come across that. I think, with my mom. When my aunt was at the hospital, my mom was a couple of days before she passed away. And my aunt, I was in the hospital in a different city having a baby. So my mom was in the hospital and I was too at the same time. And so I was talking to my aunt, and my aunt said she's writing because she cannot hear. And I was like, she can't hear? My mom ain't never had no problems with her hearing. And I looked that up years later, y'all. And now it wasn't even in the time. It's just something I looked up because I came back to that moment when I was watching Big Brother. I know, so why you going in and out of this? Because Big Brother, they were watching that at the same time when she was talking about she couldn't hear. And my mom was trying to figure out who won. And so I looked it up. I said, when does a person lose hearing? And they said right before you pass away, your hearing is one of the last things that go. I was like, what? I could not believe that. It's one of the last things that they start losing. That's a sign that death is near. And I did not know that. I did not know that. Hi, Rossi. Good afternoon. Malcolm was in a music band, and I don't think anyone has mentioned them. Are any of the members Nicaraguan or from Costa Rica? No, but I will look into that. I do know about the band, though. Yep, definitely. We'll clock that. Keep a note of that for real. Hey, Real Talk Sherry, welcome. Thank you so much, D. I appreciate that, sis. Malcolm was wanting to do great things. Yes, I definitely agree with that. He was trying to go a different direction, I think, with his life. And who's to say, was that including his wife too? Okay. Was that just his career? Or was that everything? Okay. Jasmine said, I wish his mother would look deeper and not accept what Malcolm Jamal Warner's wife told her on how he died. Come on now. I don't fully trust his wife. Latin ties to that country. Costa Rica is very criminal. Clock it. Thank you for putting that. Okay. Paperwork saw them footprints and they look confusing. Yep. I'm telling y'all, I had always believed that there were more people there from the different stories that we were getting. Okay. So I don't know if they were trying to set the stage for if people were saying, oh, a potential witness out there, and was like, we saw about 4 or 5 people out there. So they already coming to us saying, oh, it was a doctor and his wife out there. Okay, it was another guy, Nicaraguan guy in the water. It was this, it was that. And then, come on, where are these people when you actually go there? Okay, who were the people there? That's what we want to know. And I know definitely that should be something they need to look into. Who else was on the beach? Because at the beginning, y'all, those of you coming in later, she said there was a guy walking on the beach trying to talk to Malcolm in this vision she was getting. He said he didn't want to talk about it. He was not going to do that. Whatever that is they wanted him to do, he would not do. Right. If they already had Malcolm cremated, they wouldn't be able to do an autopsy. Yep. Pointed toe men's dress shoes prints in between the big and little footprints in the sand. Clock it. Amazing mountain. Remember, she said it was 3 men out there with special hats that they wore, like detectives, old school detective hats, smoking cigars. And then when she went into the building in this image she was getting, there were men there with hats and things, had money. Okay, they wore cufflinks and ties, and they had a lot of money. Some had beard, like they were bankers and things like that. Like, what is that about? Hi, Miss Josephine. Like, that's crazy. Could have been a little girl. He said when he was in that red room on the resort that he was so blessed to have his friends arrive Who were the friends that his wife invited? That's another question. His death, the trip and funeral is a complete mystery. Exactly. Okay. We haven't heard anything yet about that. And like I said, y'all, the only tribute of any sort that we've heard about publicly was from this speakeasy city winery with Tama Harper, which was a close friend of his since 2004, and that is a collaborator with him at this place. She's also been on his podcast. Her episode was released around the same time of his passing. I'm not trying to say anything about her in this or anything like that. I'm just stating the chain of events for those of you just coming in. Okay.
To release himself from having to deal with that, it seems as though he was being put into positions against his will because he was about to really uncover something. That notebook, I'm going to uncover it. That director's name there. So he was doing either some kind of a documentary or some kind of a film to point this out. Like it's way too coincidental. And it's too odd a connection. It's like, that doesn't even make sense to me. I don't even know what that connection is. So when I'm looking at it, there's so many pieces. And then there's people who are betraying him. Now, what is a Cancer rising?
Now, that's why, y'all, when she said that, I needed to know, was he working on a documentary? You know, I don't just take stuff as she's saying, and let me go and look. That's how I found out he was about to star in it. Okay. He was about to start in this documentary about Tunis Campbell. So if someone is trying to get him off kilter, okay, with this, why? Why would someone want to block that? Jasmine said, I find it odd that it's two doctors on the beach. What a coincidence. I do not believe it. So Malcolm Jamal Warner and the two doctors ignored the signs on the beach to stay off it. Right. 3 intelligent men ignore signs. Okay. Thank you. Come on now. The smart group. We actually are thinking about that. Like, some people have not thought about that. Like, that would not have made sense. All of these doctors, you had a lifeguard, someone that's volunteered before. He happened to be there and grabbed his surfboard. Where were all the surfboards? Where were they supposed to be propped up at? They would just land on the beach? Because one story said he went and grabbed his off of this little area that was standing behind him. Okay. So where were all the surfboards that were supposed to have been out there? Then I heard one story. Oh, they were having surfing lessons that morning, and the women went shopping and left the daughter with Malcolm and the friend. Okay, but where's the friend? We keep hearing friend. So that's another reason why when Sloan Bella was saying there's a man on the beach, there are these 3 men, I believe that. Because that's all we keep hearing is friends. We still don't know. She even said they were grayed out. I'm like, were they grayed out in the vision? The names are missing. Like, who are these invisible friends? We still don't know. We still don't know who the friends are. Who introduced Malcolm to his wife? Who is that friend? Everybody's a friend, but the friends are not really friends, in my opinion, because I believe some of these friends turned on him, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Looking for a Cancer rising is looking for family first, even if they're born into a family that is a wonderful family. Now remember, Leo sun, loss of father, as in the father is not as prominent, but Cancer rising means I'm looking for family. Now, maybe this is because he spent his whole childhood on camera and didn't really have the family or had different versions of family.
Oh, y'all, and that struck me too. Now, I don't know how close him his dad is. You know, I know his mother spoke highly up on that interview from the other day. I shared. She did that interview 6 months ago. She said that her and the father are close now, and she's even close to his wife, calls her sister wife or something. And said that, you know, they have a good relationship, Malcolm and his dad. But something that stood out to me in that of him looking for family I wonder when he met his wife, okay, at first he didn't want kids. But then after 5 months and they had started hanging out again and things like that, he changed his mind and he wanted that family. Okay. You could tell Malcolm really, really loved his daughter. Okay. He spoke highly. He just lit up when he talked about his daughter. And so a portion of him really, really wanted that family. Now, as far as was he still stuck on, if this doesn't work out, I may have to give up half of my money, like he was saying earlier on in one of his interviews. We don't know because there is no public record of them being officially married. Okay. So having this family atmosphere and us doing this as a family was probably important to him. But I don't know if he just did not want to go forward with fully making it official. Greetings, Gloria. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Yes. Okay. She did mention that speakeasy. Yeah, the doc and the wife. Right. That's true. Malcolm Jamal Warner's father had remarried to another woman since age 10. He didn't live with his dad every day. Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But he's easily going to be led astray by the guise of family. Do you see what I'm saying? So if somebody wants to control and contain, they're going to come in as an opportunity to connect like a family.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? They will come in as an opportunity, okay, to look as a family. Ooh, woo. Did Malcolm Jamal Warner look up to Bill Cosby? Yeah, I think he did. I think he did. A couple of readers saw a white man uninvited that showed up. Wonder who. Oh, really? That might be kind of the same man. That's probably kind of the same man. I'm curious.
That's what I'm saying. And I feel like that would be the one weakness or his Achilles heel that he had. But he is still in a processing mode. Still in a processing mode. There are people on the other side. A lot of his family's on the other side. This is not unusual when you hit to be your 50s. But it's like the room, the little room that he's in and he's watching the film. There's more people coming to watch this. And it's like, whoa. And they're all kind of just like frozen in time like this, looking at it. So there's not a lot of animation. So I feel just at the moment, and again, time is so hard to explain on the other side because it's not like our time here. It seems like his soul would have popped on out and gone because it's been 2 weeks or whatever. No, he's processing and people are processing with him. And I feel like this was a setup. I feel like it was a setup. This was not intentional. This was not his natural time of death. Obviously, if he ends up dead, it's his one window of death. We have different opportunities. But did somebody else's path intercede with your path and then force you in a position, force you to make a move you don't want to make? That's like a chess move thing there. So strange. Anyway, this is my first video on Malcolm Jamal Warner. And once again, my name is Sloan from SloanBella.com.
Wow, y'all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been talking. It's no sound. Thank you, Shelly. Child, I've been talking for how long? I've been going over comments. How long? Oh my God. Because I had muted it when Sloan was talking. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Shelly. My sis had to tell me, girl, the sound. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hear about the family? Let me go to the end. Y'all, did y'all hear about the family? And I was behind in the comments, so I'm just now seeing that part. Lord, so when y'all see me clicking and y'all couldn't hear me, I was just a talking. Okay, I did go back up here and I laughed at this comment. I said, I agree, girl, because we weren't going over there. Okay. I also said, yeah, it's certain things I don't even talk about on here that I really feel with this, but we definitely do have to be careful. I just put things out there and y'all make the reference your own reference and inference and things of that sort because yeah, that's all we can do at this point. It's alleged, okay? We have no direct facts on this, but we can put puzzle pieces together. And this to me connected, right, Sammy's World? This to me connected a lot more as far as a possible reason he could have been a target, if that's the case, okay? Malcolm's dad and the dad's family, his family lives in Chicago. Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Okay, see his bearded so-called wife of his boy, they trained her well when she posted that vacation in February, I think, inviting all these mystery friends and whatnot. That's what I'm wondering because she was putting locations, the travel routes, all of that. Okay, so yeah, that makes a difference. Okay. Thank you, Shelly. Yeah, y'all didn't hear me at all. Yeah, low key inviting all the mystery friends. Child, I was just up here running my mouth. I thank God for people that will can hit you up real quick and you see because I was behind. Y'all were telling me, but here I am just running my mouth and behind in the comments at the same time. Oh my God. I cannot believe it. So yeah, she was definitely on it with this. It confirmed, like I said, I mainly kind of listened to some of that to see if it confirms something I've already been thinking. And then if it's something that can be proven or I can look into, like some of the other stuff, I don't tap into all of that or I don't get involved in that part. But I can look up to see if he had an upcoming documentary or little stuff like that. Who are the men in the hats? I was trying to find that. Is it something special, a group there in Costa Rica that wears hats? Okay, a certain type too. I wish I knew what it looked like. But it appears as though she said like those investigators, like the Dick Tracy. If y'all remember Dick Tracy, how he had that hat he used to wear. Yes, right now, Goo. Mm-hmm. Right. Why would she invite all those people? It wasn't his birthday. So what was the special occasion? Like she was sending his farewell. That's a sick woman. He chose wrong. Yeah, I don't know what the friends were about and how long, if he even knew them. Like, did he know those friends? Or was it just someone, that I don't know. Hold on, y'all. Okay, thank you. So y'all helping me with my anxiety from my son being in school, his first day of public school today. Okay, let's see. I didn't hear for about 3 minutes in. I was like, oh, are you okay? It was, me, the men in black better leave you and us alone. Oh my God. And I'm just running my mouth. I had lost some people too. Oh, can y'all hear me now? I was on mute on purpose that time. I told y'all to hold on for a second. If y'all don't see my bubble moving, that's when y'all know. Can y'all hear now? Let me type, because I'm back. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, that time I said hold on. Can y'all hear me now? Type of 1 if you can hear me. Okay, good. Okay. Ooh, I was like, now I see my bubble moving. Okay, so a couple of things still that are questionable. Who is this older woman? Who are these men? Okay, older woman, these men. Okay, what type of mule? Okay, if that was the case, what type of mule? Did any of this, was it something illegal, or just was it just the idea part? And then what comes of the QT man? Okay, y'all know who the QT man is. What's gonna come of that? Is he going to put out something in regards to that? Okay, thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Okay. It's like one of those instances when if you don't join, you've seen too much and now you gotta go. Oh, right, Aries. Okay. Okay. I'm telling you. Sorry to say, Miss Torres will never be charged in USA, and if Malcolm's mom is involved, she will never be charged because his demise was in Costa Rica. Right? Exactly. Okay, and we don't know for sure if anything was if she was behind any of this for sure. Things like that. The message, like I said, that one word was pretty much like I don't know if it was a teachable moment or a clue, because it was from a Spanish Catholic type of origin, and I don't take her as now she hasn't said her religion or anything like that. I don't think, but I don't take her as a Catholic, but definitely not Spanish. Okay. She could be Catholic. I don't know. Nothing against Catholic. I'm just saying, I don't know. Okay. But to choose that word was odd. And then some of the other things that she said in that statement were odd as well. I thought when they first said that his mom spoke out, and because it was started going viral online, I was thinking that she had done like an interview or a video or something like that. I didn't realize it was like just a statement like that in an IG account. Okay, so that part was a little questionable. So I don't know. Y'all. We're gonna continue to tap in and check out more things, because imagine with this video that Sloan did. Let me see. Right now, she is at 68,000 views. It's only been out 22 hours, not even a full 24 hours. So probably within one day, she'll probably hit 75, 80,000 people. This video is going to go viral, and it's her first one, she said. Okay. So if people did think that it was over, they may have a difference of opinion after okay, after her videos, because some people just follow her for that. They try to think okay, we have these celebrities and something's off with their deaths, because I know Twitch's his what she said about him, I definitely believe that happened. Okay, because you can't make me believe that he would have unalived himself like that and nobody heard anything in that hotel and no one saw anything. Where are the cameras? He was supposed to have came up in there with somebody. And same situation, y'all. Okay, she was saying that some people went into his room that were in there with him. There are cameras at hotels on the floors and all of that. So you should see movement into his room or out of his room. What happened to that footage? Just like with Malcolm, if there are other people, there are no cameras out there in that location. Okay, nobody there with a a phone to record anything. So you really just don't have any concrete like evidence or proof without that. But I believe that hotel, they got what happened to that footage. And I believe that. Thank you, Nagu. I appreciate that. Miss Warner has APR to speak and write for her as well. That's a good point. Thank you so much. That's not the norm either. I haven't heard of many actors being cremated and not buried, and you can't tell me they didn't have the money to give them a proper burial. Right, exactly. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. So I'm definitely after this, y'all, and I'm gonna look into more into like the different, if we can find more information as far as collaborators with him on these projects. Okay. Who else? Because when you do a project, think about this. When you do a project, especially of that status, okay, and knowing who he is, right? He cannot do that alone. Now, Tyler Perry, as big as he is, okay, he's the writer, director, producer, but guess what? He still has a whole team. Who else was on this project? Who else? Who else was on the project is a key as well. Who knew about these upcoming projects? That's something else to think about. Who was the team? Because she spoke a lot about an inner circle and some people. And so I know someone brought up the comment about the band members. You know, I'm gonna look into who was the band. Because I mean, we can get answers. There's nothing wrong with that. The reality is, and the sad reality is, Malcolm is gone. Okay, that part remains. And that part hurts my heart, y'all. When I was looking into this last night, I just put everything down, and I was actually about to cry. I had gotten goosebumps because he stood for something. I love the fact that it came out that he could not be easily bought, and he stood for something, and that very thing could have been to his detriment. And that's sad. That makes me sad that he was trying to go possibly in another direction, and others that probably did not want him to go in that direction possibly tried to stop it because they did not want it to affect their status or their money. And that's sad. That's really sad. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Obi, thank you and everyone for sharing our thoughts collectively. We can make a difference. What's the difference? Keep exposing the lies being told to us in our faces. Exactly. Like, you got to understand, there are people that really think about this, okay, that want to get justice for him and get to the bottom of it. Okay, so it's not a conspiracy. No, these are things that are out there if you look it up. Okay, anyone can look up what was his upcoming project. Who was it about? You can go as deep as you want to about that. I didn't want this to turn into a history lesson, but I pulled up more about Tunis Campbell. And I suggest y'all pull it up too. He did a lot, y'all, and they tried to shut that man down. Okay. He was teaching them. See, this is the key to even getting people off of welfare and so forth. Okay, we know that is coming up. Food stamps and things like that. Hi, Mammy. Thank you for joining. That's about to kind of end, okay, or decrease in the upcoming years. Okay, this man was teaching people how to be waiters, how to operate. He wrote a whole guide for waiters. I think it said for waiters, for maids, and so forth, as to how to run those positions. He wanted them to have their own communities, okay, where they didn't have to go outside and get denied, get laughed at, spit on, all of this different stuff. No, we build. We have our own land, our own banks, we have our own hospitals. Like, it was pretty much turning into a community like Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. It was called a Black utopia, similar to Wakanda. Okay? That is not something you want to educate people on how to have your own lifestyle where you can have a business, you can actually work and have a good job, where you don't have to settle for being on government assistance your whole life. It's a way out. And that's not popular to talk about. Okay? When there are other possible agendas. If you go against the grain, it's not always going to be popular. You got to be prepared for what comes with that, to be honest. Because everyone's not going to like it. That's just real talk. She said, my daughter she's 38 years old. I remember her first day in kindergarten. I was looking all in the window because I couldn't let go. That's how I was this morning with my son. My daughter, she's been there. She know her little friend. She go up in there. I'm like, all right, have a good day. And I was mad because one of the teachers wasn't there. How you have a sub day one? Okay. Where the teacher at? So I was a little bothered by that. Okay, but the other lady seemed nice, and I'm getting to know her. She's a new teacher. But y'all, the teacher, I'm up here telling them everything that I can about my son's life in the span of a minute. Oh my gosh. And so one of the teachers just wrapped an arm around him and was getting him to breakfast. And because, we had to get all that squared away. So it wasn't until like an hour till he really got to get into his class. And I had to force myself to just turn around and walk out. Okay. Because I would have just lingered there all day. I probably would have walked him to the bathroom, the cafeteria, and everything. I was so nervous, but talking to y'all today, y'all have really blessed me. Okay, it's taking my mind off of it for a little bit. Okay. I said, now I'm going to have to focus on some work, get some work done. Okay, so that I can really concentrate and before they come home, because that time goes by after 12 o'clock. Sloan said that the person behind Malcolm's death no, I don't think she said that. I think she said that his name was in the journal. And he had all of these different names, and his name popped up. It kept coming up bigger and bigger. She didn't really know the connection because she was wondering, had they worked together before, known each other, or anything like that. So she said something else was going to be coming up with that person also. But I do not remember her saying anything like that. So I'm definitely not saying that here. But thank you for that. I think it was just that she didn't really know the connection, but the connection I was possibly making was he may take over that project, or maybe Malcolm may have reached out to him to get more advice about a project, because Quentin, this guy, golly, is, moving into television and plays. He's about to start producing and writing more so for those than movies. He's trying to do one more movie because he's about to retire. And he wants to do a last movie. But allegedly, he has no idea anything yet. So, is it possible that he could go ahead and take on this Tunis Campbell story? Okay. Hey, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Okay. Hi, Jessica. Oh, y'all start. Okay, so y'all's tomorrow. See? Okay, so you be crying too. I had some tears this morning. My husband told me, he said, girl, save it for college. Okay. And I said, see, men, they not nothing. Okay. You too, Heal the World. Thank you for joining us today. So y'all make sure you tap the like button if you have not. That is for free. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you are welcome to send a super sticker, super chat. My Cash App is on the screen and the coffee link is pinned at the top. Also, shout out to the Open Book family. Y'all, we have really, like, I was gonna say successfully reached our goal, but I woke up and we had exceeded our goal of 6K subscribers. Oh my gosh. So now we are headed to our next goal of 7K subscribers. Thank you for every like, view, comment, okay, every super, every coffee, every Cash App. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every share, every time you talked about the open book. Thank you so much. It has been truly, truly a blessing. Special shout out to my mods. Thank you, ladies, so much. Shelly Shells, Lolo, Dreamy Girl. They are really more so active in the chat. We do have other mods that are dealing with some health challenges and so forth, but we love you, you all as well. But thank y'all so much. That made my morning. CJ is a senior, so happy tears. Okay. Oh, right, Jessica. Oh, this is the Jessica. I just thought about, who is CJ? He's a senior. Wow. So yeah, that's a different type of tears. Okay. We'll catch those tears at the end of that senior year. I cannot believe that. Thank you for joining, sis. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate that. So, right, anonymous. Look here. Look, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, we organically grow over here. Okay, I heard that term from someone else when they said you want to grow your channel organically. So we have organic growth. Okay. Okay, baby, I'll just leave that there. Okay. Oh, that tickled me talking about some organic growth. I love it. Okay, so yeah, week 7K will be here. Look, we were just at 5K. We were just at 5K about what, a month ago? So, hey, God is moving, y'all. I truly give God the glory for all of my success, for anything. I always want him to be at the center of everything that I do. So y'all know he's a part of this channel. Okay. And if you don't know, y'all better come on over on Thursdays and Sundays and you will see. Okay. We plead the blood of Jesus over the open book channel and family. Okay. So I really, really thank God for that. But I thank God for each of y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining on today. Make sure you hit your notifications because you never know when I'm going to go live. Let's see. James Fan said people are dying because they don't choose to have sex with other people. It's so crazy. Right. Mm-hmm. And there was a story too the other day, yesterday. I just peeked in on this girl was jogging and this guy was trying to talk to her, and she didn't want to talk to him. Child, she had recorded him too. He pulled that car over and was talking, got out of the car, talking crazy to her. She was recording it. Then when she was talking back to him, he had a pow, okay, in his car and pulled it out. So now, since that video has started going viral, his family has been harassing the girl, telling her to take that video down because the police was called and he got arrested. I said, some men don't even know how to be rejected. Okay. they can't handle the rejection. We want to go the extra mile and try to unalive somebody because they said that no, thank you. Sir, move on to the next one. Okay. Wow, anonymously. Okay, a medical lawyer. Thank you. I know that's right. Now that's awesome right there. That's awesome. That's a blessing to have a lawyer. You know what? Anonymously, I wish your daughter could look into that lawsuit with Tanisha and Malcolm because she probably would understand more of the verbiage. And if Tanisha had a case, because to me, some of that sounded like she could have had a good case. Okay, when I looked at it, but I'm not a lawyer. But hey, that would be something. I'm just curious to know. All right, well, y'all, let me get off here, get some work done. I do appreciate each of you for being here. Thank y'all so much. And y'all have a blessed day. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.